Greetings, fellow armchair Imagineers. Tiki here.
And BlueDragonFive.
And welcome to the second installment of our 2018 ranking podcast. Now, last night, folks, if you stuck it out for the long haul, my God, you experienced Dragon. We made history. We made history on the So You Want to Be an Imagineer channel, Dragon. We smashed the Freakazoid record for the longest podcast we've ever recorded on the show. For good or for bad, Dragon. It's that's one for the record books. It was filled with highs and lows and heated discussion and technical difficulties, but at the end of the day, we got it out. We got it in there, and it is currently the longest podcast we've ever recorded.
Oh, so long as you don't count the multi-parters, but yeah.
Yeah, well, no, I don't count the multi-parters. I count just, this is like, yeah. Okay, but tonight we're going to be talking to another friend of ours, and Monkey is going to join us in having a 2018 movie ranking podcast Banana. Get it? Banana and Bonanza, Banana.
Yes, Tiki, we're all very proud of you, yes.
Good. I'm patting myself on the back right now. Monkey, how the hell are you?
I'm doing okay, I guess. It's Year's a little, it's a bit interesting so far, but ain't nothing awful yet, I don't think. So, but we are here in 2019. 2018 is over, which means my list is final. I finally have a completed list of movies I saw in 2018. Yay! And I was unable to make it onto last night's, so here we are now. Thank you for this opportunity. And so, yes, I figured this would be a fun one to be a part of, like, especially with some of my choices. We got some interesting stuff in here. My apologies in advance for some of these, Dragon, but I hope we can still be friends. So, I don't really have a ton else. Just some little full disclosure. I declined to take notes throughout the year on what I thought of these movies, so I kind of worked them out today. So I may not be as well versed in my thoughts on them as I could be, and also a bunch of these are ones I haven't seen in some time. Like even some of the top ones. But I don't know what else to intro, so are we set?
Yeah, before we do that, Dragon and I are going to go and kind of set the standard, Monkey. We're going to set forth our top 27, because you saw 27 movies this year. Dragon and I saw 48, and Dragon saw 48, I saw 58. You could have been in the 8 club, Monkey, if you would have seen one more, man.
Yeah.
You could have been in the 8s. The crazy 8s.
For 2018?
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, man.
Yep, just a big old disappointment there, Monkey.
Oh.
Missed it by that much.
Missed it by that much.
Let's see. Do I have a good number 8? I have an okay number 8.
What, you mean oh, okay. Sorry. Okay, So Dragon, do you want me to go first on this one?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. All right, so
A quick little recap for the folks, a little highlight reel.
All right, my top 27 movies of 2018. Number 27, Three Identical Strangers, a very compelling documentary about 3 identical triplets separated at birth and reunited in their college years that led to a myriad of family drama and conspiracy theories and Nazis. It's
I remember seeing a trailer for that, and it seemed interesting. I guess I forgot about it.
Yeah, it's pretty compelling stuff. Number 6, number 26, Dragon. Can we still be friends? Deadpool 2.
No comment.
All right. Number 25, The Grinch. This is something that I never expected to be as high as it was, but I really, really liked it. It was a big, pleasant surprise for me. Of course, we have Kenan Thompson as a really, really likable, neighborly character.
Bricklebaum.
Yeah. We have a lot of great holiday atmosphere in there. It's a good time. Number 24, Isle of Dogs. Always nice to see Wes Anderson do stop motion. I think it's not quite as good as Fantastic Mr. Fox, but it still gets the job done, and Bryan Cranston does a good performance. Number 23 is Christopher Robin. It was a movie I was really, really looking forward to, really hyped for. And at the end of the day, it kind of gave me some certain moments of goosebumps with the Jim Cummings performance as Pooh. But beyond that, it was kind of a little bit more shallow than I would have liked. I wanted a little bit more from Christopher Robin. So, that was kind of like it was still good, but it was a bit of a minor letdown for me. Sorry. Okay, sorry. Okay, number 22 is Incredibles 2. I don't know, man. I'm in the camp that thinks Incredibles 2 is good, but not great. It's got great moments in it. I just don't think it really eclipses the first one in any way. I don't know. We could go on all day about Incredibles 2. I'm sure Monkey has an opinion on it as well. That's so let's kind of put a stake in the ground for that one. Dragon's going to have Incredibles 2 much higher on his list. Number 21 for me was Avengers Infinity War. It was more of a cultural event than it was a film, and it is a good feat of storytelling. I just don't think it's quite as rewatchable as I would like it to be, and especially for people that are kind of coming in knowing nothing about the MCU. Number 20 is Hereditary. It's a freaking rough watch, and I never really want to watch it again. But man, is it bold and dark and freaking creepy as hell, and just all kinds of messed up. And it kind of lives up to the hype that's been spreading throughout the year about it. Number 19 is Game Night. Man, oh man, Game Night was a really fun movie for me. Jesse Plemons ended up being one of the most fun performances of the year, and one of my favorite actor portrayals. Just an all-around well-made kind of thriller-type movie that really gave me a good time. Number 18 was Searching. I really wanted to put this movie higher, but because of the conventional, like search for the missing person tropes, it does pull off. I couldn't really justify ranking it much higher, but hey, it's in my top 20. It does a beautiful job of portraying life on the internet and what growing up online's been like for me, and I'm sure thousands, if not millions, of other families across the United States. It kicks things off with what I like to call the cyber married life. And you need to see this movie for that alone. And Monkey, I know you've seen this too, so I'm curious to get your opinion on that. Okay, number 17 is Mission Impossible Fallout. This was just a damn good blockbuster ride. It was a wonderful time at the movies. Henry Cavill played a great, like, kind of strong man, burly man type villain. The plot was kind of epic, but still easy to follow at the same time. I enjoyed the hell out of Fallout. Number 16 is Black Panther. It kind of falls apart in the third act a little bit, but it still delivers powerful moments all the way through. It's anchored by an incredibly likable cast of characters, including Okoye, Shuri, and of course, M'Baku.
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 I forget it. Just
what am I thinking of with M'Baku?
You're thinking of Big Hero 6, the series.
That's what I'm thinking of. That's
who we're talking about. Okay.
Okay, M'Baku. Sorry, it's been a minute. But but great overall cast of characters, great look. Just a movie that, of course, has a big cultural relevance to it. It made way more money than any of us were anticipating, and I loved it. Number 15, A Quiet Place. Man, oh man, talk about an intense experience in the theater that I don't think can be replicated in any way, shape, or form in a home viewing experience. Just being in a packed house on opening night with everyone just so on edge that the sound of someone munching on popcorn would send people into fits of terror. Man, that's damn good filmmaking right there, and that's something that just can't be replicated. That's why I love going to movies and going to movies in theaters. The only reason I don't have A Quiet Place higher is because, like I said, I just can't imagine it working as efficiently at home. It's like it's the kind of movie where you really need the atmosphere in the crowd. 14 is Green Book, a very, very effective Oscar baity feel good type, anchored by two incredibly likable lead performances. It's pretty conventional, but it really gets the job done. We have the opposite of conventional. This is Mandy, the big Nicolas Cage here. If you psychedelic Nicolas Cage going up against freaking cultist hippies on a murderous rampage, this is for you. It's brutal, it's futuristic, it wants to be. It's a crazy ride that's not for everyone, but the people that it is for will get a kick out of it. Number 12 is Bumblebee. It's a movie that kind of plays it safe. It sticks a little too close to the ET formula. That's why it didn't quite get into my top 10. But it's a delightful movie. It's by far the best Transformers movie of the lot. And I really do hope they build on it from here. By the way, Dragon, I think I told you this. I told you this. The Honest Trailer guy, John Bailey, voices the voice of the two Decepticons that go to Earth and Bumblebee. I think that's kind of neat. Number 11 is Vice. Vice was a freaking intriguing mindfuck of a movie, man. I mean, Jesus Christ. I don't even know. I can't even make heads or tails of it. It was like a Rubik's Cube. The way that it played with narration and Dragon, like you said, it was like biopic filmmaking on the next level. It was just, oh my God, I really need to see it again. It was a head trip. I mean, basically the whole movie plays like a documentary and plays with narration and plays with the idea that we're seeing basically what we're seeing is either footage, like real life footage, or footage that is like recreations and everything like that. And it's a head trip, man. It's like, I don't know if it's like one of the best movies of the year, but I put it up this high because I mean, I just admire the ambition of it from a pure narrative and screenwriting point of view. Okay, my top 10. Number 10, Ralph Breaks the Internet. We've talked about this a lot. I think it's one of my favorite Disney sequels, right up there with something like The Rescuers Down Under. It really kind of improved and expanded upon the first movie, both narratively and in terms of world building. Number 9 is Boy Erased. This was an efficient and edgy little thrill ride by Joel Edgerton, who also stars as the primary antagonist, who happens to be the most scary villain of 2018 this side of Thanos, in my opinion. Literally right from the very beginning, Boy Erased just sends you on edge and gives you goosebumps and doesn't let you go. And it's I'm really surprised that more people aren't talking about this movie.
I would have seen it, but I figured it might be just a little too much for me.
No, I understand that. I understand that. I think it probably would have been on your end. It's intense, but that's exactly why I liked it. I like thrill rides. I like thriller. Oh, yeah. Okay, number 8 is Sorry to Bother You. It's basically Get Out. Holy crap! What a freaking mind. Oh man, like it's hard to even describe Sorry to Bother You. It's just so much happens. It happens. It's bold. It's absolutely bombastic. It's things to say about the working class and so.
I wish I'd seen that one, but yeah.
What?
Wish I'd seen that one.
Yeah. Number 7 is Instant Family. The only thing I have to say about this movie is it's by far the most surprising movie of 2018. It's kind of like the little movie that could on my list. It really kind of beat the odds and wound up in my top 10 relatively high up. And yeah, Mark Wahlberg, it's a crowd pleaser, man. It totally is. And it's directed by the same guy who did the Daddy's Home movies, but it's a far better movie than the Daddy's Home movies are. It bows, really toes a fine line between really funny comedy and really heartfelt drama and tears and, realism of what it would be like to take up 3 adopted kids who have been through an incredibly rough childhood where their trust issues are just kind of smashed to bits. And it's definitely a really engaging sit, man. I can't recommend it enough. Number 6 is Black Klansman. This is one of the most entertaining movies of the year, a high mark biopic. One of my favorite Spike Lee movies that I've seen, keeping in mind that I haven't really seen that many of his movies. I really liked it a lot, specifically Adam Driver. I really liked all the ridiculous parody that was in this movie. It had this really, really sharp tone of comedy to it. It was like really razor on the razor's edge, and it was super entertaining. Number 5 is A Star Is Born. Man, oh man, talk about a movie that just chugs along on the hype machine, right? A Star Is Born is just fantastic. It's led by 2 incredible performances, especially Bradley Cooper. I mean, Bradley Cooper still to this day, I think is maybe the most impressive performance of 2018 for me. Maybe not my favorite personally, but the most impressive. The most impressive thing about A Star Is Born to me is the way it balances being sort of this up and coming like rise of a superstar story and all the highs that come along with that. But at the same time, Bradley Cooper is almost kind of like the sacrificial lamb of that whole relationship, and you see the downward spiral he goes in, and it's it's kind of just like the good and the bad, and I don't know, it's a really tragic story, man. It's a movie where it's like you walk out of it, it's not a feel good movie, but I respect it all the more for that. It's triumphant filmmaking, it really is. Okay, number 4 is Bad Times at the El Royale. This is just it's pure cinematic genius, I think. It's just a puzzle of a movie that just comes together so well. It's impossible to describe.
Well, why does it have to have jump scares? Otherwise, I would have seen it.
You just have a knockout cast, including Jeff Bridges, Chris Hemsworth, John Hamm, of course, a whole bunch of others, and I mean, it's just a really great ensemble of characters that you really get to you get to be attached to all the characters in their own way as the movie goes on, and there's just really high stakes, really great filmmaking at play every step of the way, some really great music choices. I mean, it was a thrill ride from top to bottom, and it was another big surprise. I had no idea what I was getting myself into when I sat down to watch this in theaters, and what I came out of was a movie that I solidly knew was going to be on my top 5 through and through, and here we are, and it's my number 4. Okay, number 3 is Won't You Be My Neighbor? We've talked about this to death. We've yabbered on and on and on about it. It's a life-affirming movie. It's a brilliant look at the life of Mr. Rogers. It's heartwarming as all hell. It brings the audience in on the action. I mean, you could write an essay about this thing, man. It's a powerhouse. It really is. It packs a punch. Number 2 is Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Just a really, really damn good movie. Just artistically amazing, narratively incredibly satisfying. Pulls out all the punches in terms of both comedy and drama. One of the most rewatchable cinematic landscapes of 2018. It's one of those movies you want to go back and see again and again in theaters. And finally, for me, on a very subjective level, number 1 is indeed Mary Poppins Returns, just because it did everything I ever wanted a Mary Poppins sequel to do. Emily Blunt is just just in top form as Mary Poppins. It's almost creepy watching her performance because it's as if the character never left the screen to begin with. It's just a tour de force of song, dance, music, and just a great message and a lighthearted atmosphere and just wonderful visual effects. And Lin-Manuel Miranda, man, and Lin-Manuel Miranda with a bad British accent. And frankly, that's what shot it up to number one was Lin-Manuel Miranda's bad British accent. It's awesome. It's amazing. It's incredible. I'm so glad we have it. All right. Dragon, can you do a marathon and make it quick?
I can, yes.
Okay, let's
Okay.
go.
All right, number 27, Mission Impossible Fallout. It's really wonderfully directed action film. Yeah, I'm a little iffy on the whole, like, is Ethan Hunt a double agent? But aside from that, it's really solidly made. Okay, number 26, Love Me When I'm Dead. It's a wonderful documentary by the Won't You Be My Neighbor director, Morgan Neville. It's about Orson Welles. I love me a good Orson Welles documentary. It's about very full circle about his career. It's about the last movie that Orson Welles made versus the first one, which of course was Citizen Kane, and seeing kind of how the ball game had definitely changed for Orson Welles' career. Very interesting on Netflix. Highly recommended. 25, the 1517 to Paris. This is an example of next level biopic filmmaking by Clint Eastwood. He used the actual heroes from the story as the actors in the movie, so the link ups are virtually flawless. They're beautiful. It's really, again, it's next level biopic filmmaking. Okay, number 24, Whitney, the 2018 Whitney Houston documentary. Really good. I've been waiting to see it essentially for all of 2018. I eventually saw it kind of in the last moments of it. It's a very raw look at Whitney Houston. It doesn't shy away from from the nitty gritty of it all. It's very informative. Again, big recommendation there. Number 23, Bohemian Rhapsody. Worth seeing for Malik alone. I think all considering, I think it came out tremendously well. I mean, the third act in itself is just something you got to see. You got to see it. It's interesting for a kind of a layman Queens fan like myself. I got a lot out of it. I don't know how the Queen super fan feels about it, but I don't know. I thought it was good. Okay, number 22, Bumblebee. I tell you, it's the first time I've ever been invested in a Transformers film. I think Travis Knight, the Kubo director, I think he did an excellent job with it. Again, Haley Steinfeld. They actually made the military a little bit more compelling than they usually are in the Transformers movies. So if they made a few more like these, I
John
would actually.
Cena, man, he's got an underqualified screen presence to him.
Underrated screen presence, absolutely, yes. Okay, moving on to number 21, Isle of Dogs. I think it's an ambitious film with kind of that Wes Anderson touch. Definitely, he's in the movie. It's Cranston. It's Cranston as a dog, and he's wonderful. What more is there to say? It's Cranston as a dog in the lead role, and it's great. And importantly, I want to highlight. I think it does the Japanese style and stop motion just phenomenally well. It's just that's what really impressed me about the movie. It was something else. It was something really memorable. Number 20, Vice. Echoing my previous biopic statement, this is Adam McKay playing with the style of the biopic. It's next level in a large regard. It's basically the best way I can put it. It's a cross between a documentary and a biopic, and I love it. I think he's come a long way since The Big Short. I thought this was even better. Christian Bale is remarkable. I hope he gets all the awards that he's nominated for. I mean, I thought he did an excellent job. It's wonderful. The thing I really got to praise, the reason you got to check out Vice, the framing device. There are two oh my god moments in the third act of this movie. Like, you're just gonna be gobsmacked. Like, oh my god, what did they do? Look at what they pulled off. And again, mainly stemming from the framing device, and again, something specifically with Cheney. So it's all great stuff there. I was listening to the score recently. I was blown away by it even more. So I can't wait to rewatch Vice. Vice is great. Number 19, an HBO documentary, Robin Williams, Come Inside My Mind, a really intimate look into Robin Williams. It was the only thing that could have rivaled Won't You Be My Neighbor, if I'm going to be frank. Before that came along, this thing could have quite possibly could have been the best documentary I saw this year. It's really, really good stuff. I'd say the definitive Robin Williams tribute or documentary you're ever going to see. It's very well put together. He has like the man himself. There's a lot of fun. There's a lot of laughs, and there's definitely a few tears. Number 18, The Last Movie Star. This to me is probably the most underrated movie of 2018. People really got to seek this one out. It's on Amazon. If you have Amazon Prime, it's I believe their studio made this. Adam Rifkin, he had a passion project. He wanted to do a movie about Burt Reynolds, and essentially it's Burt Reynolds playing a parody of himself. Essentially, it's Burt Reynolds but with a different name in the movie, and it's a really sweet. It's an amazing story. This was the last thing he worked on before he was going to do the Tarantino movie, which he passed away before that could happen. But this is like the last thing he ever did, and it's about his career. And it boils down to this great bit of like an actor who's kind of shanghaied into like a film festival. It's not Cannes. It's more like in the back of a bar where they're screening a marathon of his movies. But again, people who love the guy are surrounded. He's surrounded by it. It takes a while to appreciate his fans and kind of what his career has meant to so many people. And it boils down to a place of him kind of equating life to a 3-act structure. And my God, it's really beautiful. If you're going to go out in life, you want to have a movie like this to go out on. It's The Last Movie Star. It's a thing of beauty. It really is. Okay, number 17. Christopher Robin. It's a wonderful film. I find it really rewatchable. It's McGregor. He's superb. Again, Pooh, Eeyore. They're just as you remember them. They're perfect. Act 3. It's a little by the numbers. Not bad. Just a little by the numbers. And I think the first 2 acts are a lot stronger. We have a weird kind of like pale in comparison version of the neighbor from Get Out. Sorry, not darn it. I got my things now. Neighbor from Game Night. We have a really weird version of that with like.
Yeah, that was one of the weakest parts of the movie for me, Dragon. That kind of derailed the movie.
So basically, take that out of the equation. Maybe.
Would you like to play a game of Gin Running?
It's really bizarre, and there's that in the third act by numbers. And that's the worst thing I can even say about the movie, which is really not much by comparison. Okay, number 16, The Death of Superman animated film. It really comes down to personal connect to my experience with Superman, the Death of Superman story, but specifically the DC original animated movies. This film could have been a disaster, but they pulled it off. And the bib of it all just really gets the heart of it. They captured the emotions of like the world losing Superman. I think it restructured the story in such a way that really helped, and it kind of they had a chance to do a do-over, and it paid off. Just to put it simply. Number 15, Scooby-Doo and Batman: Brave and the Bold. This movie touched me very nostalgically. It was kind of taking me back to kind of the Scooby-Doo Batman crossovers on VHS tape from my youth when they crossed over like the Filmation, the Hanna-Barbera, Batman, Scooby-Doo, and I guess the Super Friends era Batman to be exact. It was kind of like it was like the Cape Crusade. It was like the Return of the Cape Crusaders of this year for me. It brought back Batman: Brave and the Bold, which is a show that I love, and it captured everything I loved about that show. But it kind of brought it back in a little movie. It's a little transparent in what they're doing in places. Yeah, we kind of have to recapture some things that everybody loved from Brave and the Bold, and it's like you see how they're lining up. But seriously, it's a great movie. It's very enjoyable. It's really funny. I definitely seek it out. Okay, number 14. Ant-Man and the Wasp. I mean, the Ant-Man franchise and this movie includes, I feel it's one of the most likable franchises that Marvel has. I mean, Ant-Man's a very likable character. I just had a lot of fun watching. I find it rewatchable myself. It's not as good as the first movie. Rarely are sequels as good or better than the first movie. So this is just it was a solid continuation, and I had a great deal of fun with it. Number 13, Gotham by Gaslight. Gotham by Gaslight. The first Elseworld story in the history of DC Comics. It was adapted in animation, I think, very well. It did the thing you want it to do when they do these things. It's it improved upon and honors the source material in places. I had a great time with it. Bruce Greenwood gave a really great performance as Batman. They have some really interesting twists and turns, some almost Mask the Phantasm-like touches during like a chase scene. So I got a great kick out of Gotham by Gaslight. Number 12. Suicide Squad: Hell to Pay. My God, Suicide Squad: Hell to Pay. It's it's Alan Burnett's swan song. Alan Burnett, he retired after this movie, but my God, he did this last big R-rated story that the man told. It was he always wanted to get into telling more adult stories in animation. He went out doing this, and he honored what I love about the Suicide Squad, just kind of these unlikely characters gathered together for a mission. It's basically it's a race to get the get out of hell free card. It's a lot of fun. You have a little bit of Reverse Flash in there, which is great. I'm very pleased with it, and again, I'd rewatch it. I couldn't get enough of it. It's my favorite of the DC animated ones this year. Number 11, Green Book. Just for me, probably the best biopic of 2018. Pete Farrelly, I think he just definitely has some dramatic chops there. It's a buddy road movie with two really compelling, fleshed out protagonists of a really grand arc. I I love the payoffs and all the final moments. I love all the really. It's a very likable movie as well, and I think it's a movie everybody can kind of say, yeah, that was a good movie. Just sitting down to a movie, it's like, you know what, Green Book. It's just it's kind of a biopic for everyone. You can learn from it, as Tiki said, something you could teach in classrooms, and I would applaud that. Let's show Green Book to everybody. It's a really positive movie. Okay, number 10, Creed 2. Creed 2, just an excellent follow-up to the first Creed movie. I love the Drago family story. Victor Drago, Drago's son. We have some excellent battles. I think some of the finest fights we've had in the history of the Rocky movies. I mean, it's really, you feel every punch, but it's not just about feeling every punch. It's about the psychological damage of hyping yourself up to a fight. Like it's about the why of a fight without, it's earning something that each Rocky movie is always kind of like a why does he have to fight, but in this case you really feel like kind of the why of the fight. Like, why does he feel he has to go up against the son of the guy that killed his father? But again, there's a duty, there's a sense of legacy. It's really powerful stuff in the movies. Creed 2 is just, I think that's kind of a crowd pleaser for the year, definitely.
Oh
Number
yeah,
9.
well that means that there won't be any air for him either.
Right. So number 9, Bad Times at the El Royale. My God, this movie, it's probably the best original film of 2018. Drew Goddard, he's just showing off and auditioning for the Albuquerque verse. He was just auditioning for like what he would do for Better Call Saul, because again, the movie just feels like some of the best things you've seen in television kind of brought to the big screen. I love it. It has a very interesting location. I'm already hooked on. Then we have all these interesting characters. It's kind of put together in a very Tarantino Pulp Fiction-esque way. I highly recommend it. Again, I love John Hamm, Jeff Bridges, Hemsworth as kind of this Manson-like bad guy. It's very, very interesting. And again, I was legitimately blown away by this movie. Okay, then we get to number 8. Number 8 being Aquaman. Aquaman, historically redeemed Aquaman, with the DC EU making a good film for a change. Like good for them. Wonder Woman, this, and half of Justice League. They're on the right path. It was just so faithful to the character and going ad nauseam, Black Manta and such. Just it was so faithful to the character. I couldn't really ask more from it. And I was just, this is what DC should have been doing from the start. Number 7, Won't You Be My Neighbor? Oh boy, it's the best documentary easily. It's so it's very calculated in its structure. It gives the audience an emotional arc that as the subjects in the documentary kind of giving their thoughts on the legacy, on the wonderful legacy of Fred Rogers. Again, you learn about the guy. It doesn't shy away from things. It basically checked off all the boxes of the stuff I want to see about Mr. Rogers, like the whole going to the asking for funding and all that, going to Capitol Hill asking for funding, all that stuff. But it still delivers, and it's emotion. It was emotionally probably the heaviest hitting movie of the year. So, oh god, it was fantastic. We could talk about it all day, but we're not. Number 6, Ralph Breaks the Internet. So Ralph Breaks the Internet, it's an excellent sequel. It captures what I love about Wreck-It Ralph, the world building capability. Rich Moore and crew. I want to see these guys do more movies because it's like Wreck-It Ralph's Utopia. It's like absolutely wonderful world building, illogical logic, seeing how the internet works. The Oh My Disney stuff. There's literally a shot with the Oh My Disney stuff just makes me want to. It's like just kind of drool and bask in the glory of Pixar, Disney, Star Wars, Marvel, all in the same location. It's a shot of beauty, but there's even more beyond that shot, folks. I recommend. Third act, I think
the thing about the Oh My Disney shot is the fact that they have a Harbor Boulevard style, like seedy area of and stuff, like right outside of it, just like the real Disneyland.
Right. I mean, look, the only criticism I have is that it gets a little bumpy getting into the third act, and I think there are like a few choices I didn't quite agree with. That's like a more subjective thing. On the whole, it's still a great movie. I just think, yeah, I'd hesitate to put in the top 5. So, number 5 for me, personally, the Pixar fan of me was with Incredibles 2. Number 5 is Incredibles 2. The Pixar fan of me was transported back to 2004 when I was watching this movie. I just felt that was in itself is remarkable. I mean, it picked right up where it left off. I mean, I love the movie is made for fans of animation. It really is. It's just you have like these excellent sequences. I think it's family friendly. You have this great stuff with Bob and his stuff. I mean, the Helen stuff is just like some pinnacle of excellence in animation with for a chase scene and we have helicopters. All the great action bits you love from The Incredibles, as well as kind of the fun family stuff. I mean, I remember I rewatched. Probably the movie I've rewatched most this year is probably Incredibles and the number 1 pick. I feel those are the two things I've rewatched most this year. It's Incredibles 2. It's It's simply it's delightful, and I can't get enough of it. So number 4. Now let me put it this way: number 4 through 1, I feel you can make an argument for any one of these. Like the card didn't grant the number 4 through 1. Any one of them, you can make an argument for them being in the number 1 spot. So bear that in mind. I love them all equally. So number 4, you got Black Panther. Black Panther, just the coolest film of 2018. Again, Wakanda's spectacular. It lived up to everything I love about Black Panther as a character. You have like the cool stuff there and exploring Wakanda, the vibranium tech. And specifically in the movie, and Killmonger, he's great, all his stuff. Specifically, I love T'Challa's arc. I love him kind of being a better king than his father, and kind of learning, like, confronting his father and like what he did wrong, and kind of creating the villain. So it's a lot of really interesting stuff there. So basically, it was just it's a game changing film for the better, and I can't wait to see what kind of films we have. Just having Black Panther kind of in the stratosphere there, just kind of like everybody kind of bowing to the king in a way. It's like, yeah, okay. Number 3. Infinity War. Just never has a misdirect gone over so well than with a movie featuring Thanos' story. Like we're coming at it from Thanos' story instead of like everybody thought it was. Like we're gonna follow all the other, all the Marvel heroes like you would initially expect with any Avengers movie. Like no, it's the story of our bad guy that you're gonna in some weird way root for, at least get what he's doing. I mean, every hero he comes up against in this film, he has nice things to say about him. That in itself is great. I mean, they Marvel, they cracked the code. They have a villain that to me is kind of he's kind of a Kingpin equivalent on the big screen. I really, I love what we did with Thanos here. I love all of our individual stories, and I like how they come together. Basically, it's a movie filled with. It's 2.5 hours that goes by like that because you're so sucked in, just going moment to moment of really just great stuff. Doctor Strange dazzling all, and just the ending with Captain America's "Oh God" being the last word of the movie. Just having all of this splendor and then just ending on such a dour note, but again, like a dour note that you feel like you've seen a comic book event. It's great stuff. Okay, number 2, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Just a revolutionary film. It's what Sony should be focusing on with their Spider-Man movies. It's a film about how Spider-Man can be anyone. We see a lot of fun alternate Spider-Mans like Spider-Man Noir. It sold me on Miles Morales. It's the ultimate Spider-Man tribute in regards to a movie. Just everything I love about Spider-Man is in this movie and more, and stuff you didn't even know about Spider-Man. It's great. It's spectacular. It's all the Spider-Man adjectives under one umbrella. So number 1 for me personally, it's Deadpool 2. No, Deadpool 2. It's everything I could have asked for with a Deadpool sequel. I mean, it's a movie that wouldn't go away. I mean, the movie was around 3 times this year. They really just the super duper cut, and then the Fred Savage cut with Once Upon a Deadpool. Just they kept coming back. The Deadpool fan me, I mean, there's some deep cuts at the start with kind of what we do with Vanessa that just kind of got me on a fundamental level. Like Act 1 already, I'm happy. I don't need the rest of a Deadpool movie. Act 1, Act 1 has won me over. Everything beyond this is gravy. We do some stuff with X-Force. We do some classic Cable stuff. They could have really botched it with Cable, and I think they kept it simple, and I think that worked for them really well. But basically, they're making fun of Logan as a premise, and that in itself is quite funny. So again, I couldn't say enough nice things about Deadpool 2. It was everything I wanted it to be. Check the boxes and kept getting better. So those are my 27 films of 2018.
Okay, Monkey, you still with us?
Yes. Hello.
Hello. All right.
Hi. Okay, so shall we move on to the main course of the evening?
Yeah.
Monkey, I have one thing to say to you, my friend.
What?
We don't pick the ballroom. We just dance.
Da, 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 da. I'm swaying in my chair a little.
All right, let's do it, Monkey. What is your number 27?
Okay, so moving on to the list. This list is like these rankings were decided by a mix of objectivity, subjectivity, and how I felt watching and or leaving the film. So let's get on with it. Number 27, my least favorite film of 2018, Avengers: Infinity War.
What?
Yeah. So now not in the sense of like this is a poorly made movie. That's not why. That's not why it made it to this spot. forgive me, it's possible I may vent a little while talking about this one. And I may try and be somewhat vague about the ending, but on the other hand, it's been, there's a fair amount of memes about it, so it feels, known enough. This one, I was in, after seeing this movie, I left unsatisfied, but like, no joke, I was in a 24-hour funk after seeing this movie. Like, just because of mainly just because of the bleakness of it. Like, I'm sorry, but goddamn, that ending was too fucking bleak. You have a little hope, not enough. It wasn't, just, I can sometimes, still get a bit mad thinking about this one, and it could be just my preferences, like maybe I don't care for bleak cliffhangers. Yeah, I know it's only a movie, but forgive me for forming attachments to characters and stories. And then, of course, if considering what happens what'll happen in Endgame, if a certain route is taken with that, which could very well be the case, I think it's kind of what happens in the actual comics, but then it kind of cheapens the tension of this movie, you could say. And it's like, the way I kind of see this movie was it was like a metaphor for 2018, where, things are just going horribly wrong. Good is losing. I mean, yeah, 2018 has a bit more hope, ended on a bit more hope, but still. And if you're a fan of a particular MCU franchise like I am, guess what? You're going to get fucked over. Yeah, there's a certain hashtag to use there. So I guess with this one, it's like, did this movie go there? Decide to, take the risk and go there? Yes. And what did it cost? Everything. Or at least a lot of things. That's kind of all the notes I got on that one. So do you have anything to say about that, or would you prefer I move on, or?
I mean, it's an interesting take. I think I think one of the things to note here, Monkey, is the fact that we have a lot more, we have a larger sample size than you do. So, I specifically set out to see things like Holmes and Watson, for example. You know what I mean? I'm sure if you saw Holmes and Watson, this would probably be, I don't know. But
I considered seeing Holmes and Watson, like, it's getting not so good reviews. Yeah, I don't know if it's worth my time and money. I mean, I honestly wouldn't be surprised if this one's still ranked down there. And I'm not saying it's the objective worst movie of 2018. It's more so my least favorite.
Least favorite, right.
Yeah.
I hear. Dragon?
Well, I disagree, but I think for civility's sake, we'll leave it at that.
What?
I disagree, but for civility's sake, let's leave it at that.
Okay. So, yeah, I mean, and again, this is all me. It's not necessarily reflecting the channel. Yeah. So, I guess moving on then. Number 26, Christopher Robin. I'm totally matching your list so far.
I hate this list.
Now, in this movie's defense, what kept it from getting the bottom was that I see this, when I look back at it, I look back on it a little more positively, like at the very least I see it being salvageable. And I'm sure I probably would have been into this movie a lot more if it wasn't part of Disney's Winnie the Pooh franchise. That's like that hurdle is just a little too much for me to overcome. Like, it's not a story I wanted to see in there. Like, it had a. I mean, if this was to say like a story about some kid grown up in his imaginary friends, fine, or hell, a non-Disney version of Winnie the Pooh. But I don't think soldiers getting killed in World War II has a place in Disney's Winnie the Pooh franchise. I just don't see it. And like I don't want to see adult Christopher Robin getting mad and yelling at Pooh in the woods. I don't want to see that. And I tried to go in, a bit more, this could be good than I might have otherwise, and then just the open, like by the time the opening credits were done, I'm like, I am glad I used a free pass for this. So again, like I said, it could have been salvageable, or like it is salvageable, but yeah, just being a part of this particular franchise is a difficult thing for me to get past. But on the plus side, Eeyore was good. Eeyore was pretty good. So, should we continue on? Or?
Yeah, I mean it's definitely not my favorite movie of the year, so.
Mm-hmm. So let's just move on. Number 25, and this is maybe one of the last ones where it's like a film that I disliked. So we're getting out of that rut, out of that territory. But anyway, number 25, Early Man. So, it's kind of funny. I've been sort of waiting for this movie for years. Like, I still remember back when The Croods was going to be an Aardman movie. And then, of course, that didn't happen. So then I see like, whoa, Aardman's finally doing their caveman movie. Nice. And, I guess it's not an awful movie, but it's, the wasted potential. And, I'm coming in for some fun Aardman caveman movie, and it turns out it's a mess soccer story. It's not even a spoof of the soccer movie. It's just a straight up soccer movie with cliche feeling things or whatever. So, yeah, I'm sorry, Aardman, but not your best work. I mean, I still got my hope. I mean, I'm still optimistic. I'm still looking forward to Shaun the Sheep too. So, hopefully, that's still a good one.
It's not bad, but by Aardman standards, it's definitely a deviation.
You could say that, I suppose. So, number 24 is Fantastic Beasts: The Crimes of Grindelwald. So, so this is probably
this one's rough, isn't it?
This is like I'm probably not quite as down on it as others are, but yeah, it's probably safe to say this is the objectively this is the worst film on the list.
Oh yeah.
I guess it may have had my interest enough. Like, I wouldn't say I was unengaged in it, but it's one of those films where you leave with quite a few questions. Like, wait, what? What was that mean? Wait, who? What? Why did she do that? I mean, it probably benefits from having characters from a previous film because okay, I know these characters, so who they are, so there's already some engagement with them. I remember in some ways, I'm just remembering now, in some ways I thought it was maybe a touch more structured better or more engaging than the first Fantastic Beasts. Could have been, but yeah. Wow, so Fantastic Beasts: Crimes of Grindelwald. That made it low. So, shall we go to number 23?
Yeah,
I already moved the slide, so we may as well. Number 23, Aquaman.
Ooh. Okay.
Now, this is one. Now, at the
We're
very
getting into
least,
things you liked at this point, right?
what?
I said we're getting into things you liked at this point, at least, right?
I think we still have a few more to then. However, I will say Aquaman at least has, the entertainment value where not for me it wasn't exactly maybe in the best way because it's I could follow it okay enough, but it wasn't always clear what was going on or why, but
They're hunting for a Triton. How hard is that?
but then you got all the political stuff going on. Which why is this happening? So but this was one of those movies where it's like I wish no one else was in the theater, so like my friend and I could just riff it as much as we liked without bothering anyone. I mean, we did whisper some to each other throughout the movie occasionally. Like, I got 2 little riffs in before the title popped up. So, yeah, it's got that going for it, which put it above Fantastic Beasts. Just the, that entertainment value of it. And, there's a few moments as well. Like, I liked when they were figuring out the statues. I don't know if I have a ton else to say, but yeah, so number 22, The Old Man and the Gun.
You're the only one out of the 3 of us to have seen this. All
This
right.
is the Robert Redford movie, right?
Yeah.
I won't deny this movie could very well suffer from not being in, my personal niche, which is unfortunate, but I won't deny, even for, even considering that, it still could have been a bit more engaging. Like, I could have been more invested in it. Now, it's certainly a nice farewell for Robert Redford. I remember liking his character. And then on the other hand, you have the Casey Affleck character. Now, without getting into real life stuff, it's like this character didn't really offer much. It's like you kind of expect there to be some payoff with him, and it's like, no payoff with him. Which, okay, so nothing then? We're doing nothing? And then as I look back at it upon leaving the theater, it's like, I feel like this character was only there so the audience could learn more about Redford's character. Like, he's going over some of the evidence, or he's talking to people who give him some of the backstory or whatever. So, it was just like a vehicle for the audience, which, no, I'm sure you can make it work, make it actually be more interesting. But, well, I guess, whatever. I'm sure you two have a lot to say about this movie.
When you say farewell, you mean his character in the movie, right?
You mean for Robert Redford?
Yeah.
He retired from filming.
Right? Oh.
Yeah, this is his last movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, which is how I meant. It's a good role for him to end on.
Okay. I mean, it looks good. I wasn't able to. I don't know if I just either wasn't able to see it or I just really I knew very little about the movie before. It was just I was just hearing the name a little all over the place. I don't know. That's some Globe attention. That's as much as I really know about it. That and Redford's in it.
So I guess that's that. So I guess now we're kind of going into more so the ones I liked.
Okay.
So there is no number. I forgot to get a number for this one. Okay, where were we? Where on the list were we?
21. Is that right? 21?
21? Yeah. Wait, 21? Okay, I'm giving this one a title because I'm not saying that every time. So...
Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh, monkey, you sly dog, you.
Okay, Solo. So I remember I liked this one more than you did, Tiki. So, like, it was, I mean, not a great one,
Most
but
people like this one more than I did.
it was, I mean, it's on the lower end of, the movies of the year or Star Wars movies, but, it was engaging enough. Like, yeah, this one's like, I remember especially really I remember really liking Han's gambit that he pulls off at the climax. It's a kind of moment I like. So, yeah.
Solo.
Just a moment while I check a thing. Give me one moment while I attend to a super brief thing.
Thoughts so far, Dragon?
I'm very disappointed so far. I hate this list. I think it's the worst list I've ever seen.
Oh my god.
I think it's terrible.
Wow.
Okay, I just need to send a message real quick, and then we'll be back on the roll into the 2-0. Okay, so number 2-0, Venom. Yeah, I'm probably a bit more into it than other people were. Like I mean, it wasn't exactly a great one, but Venom was Venom was the best part of this movie, certainly. It's been a while, so I guess I don't have a ton to say. Except I'll mention that the one scene I knew about turned out to be the ending.
Yeah, that was kind of a cheap shot at the marketing there.
Yep.
I think it's Sony.
You gotta fire that trailer guy. He's still working.
Yeah. I mean, I don't watch trailers really, so I mean, unless it's something like Dumbo that I know I'm not gonna see. or if I don't know if it's gonna be. Well, whatever. Trailer talk for another day. So number 19. The Happy Time Murders.
Okay, this is the point where I kind of join in with Dragon. Like, really? The Happy Time Murders above all those other movies?
I wouldn't call this one a bad movie. It's not a great one. It's not that good of one, of course, but it makes it past the realm of bad movie enough, I'd say. I mean, it certainly could have had more energy to it, like a bit more life to it, and it doesn't hit the potential of the premise as well as it could have. I honestly wouldn't be surprised at this point if Avenue Q already executed that premise perfectly.
Medium is great for this movie. Just the story's crap. Well, the story's it's very, very lacking. I shouldn't say crap. I mean, there's stories there. It's just
in any case, it was certainly better than Sausage Party.
Well, that's definitely true.
I think that much we can all agree to. Yes,
Eon's better than Sausage Party. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, at least this one kind of worked in practice.
That's the thing. This one, I mean, I could sit down and watch this one again, just for the kind of the style of it all, and just again the performances. But it's just I wish there was more. I wish it stuck the landing. It could have been Ted if it really applied itself, but it wasn't.
And maybe, and it could very well also maybe be my niche. Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I wish we were going to get more movies like this in the future. It's kind of do puppeteering in kind of a new form. That'd be kind of neat. But I don't know, the bomb in the box office may not. I don't know. We'll see. I'm rooting for Henson Alternative. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. So number 18. Mamma mia. Here we go again.
All right.
Tiki, remind me to tell you something about that song when we're done.
Oh my god. This
Again,
movie is it's well made, but it's just
it was a better viewing experience than the first movie.
I don't think it's ever a good sign when you have "Here We Go Again" in the title of any movie.
It's kind of hilarious having that as a title. I mean, and it's not exact. It's probably not the best sequel in some ways because it doesn't get the continuity of the previous movie correct. No, I guess it had its moments, and I won't deny, like, when Dancing Queen begun, like when that number started, it was a moment of pure joy. that happened with me. That's worth something.
I respect that.
Yeah, of course. As do I. So, Mamma Mia. In any case, the stage show might still be the best iteration of the Mamma Mia franchise, but what would Mamma Mia 3 be like? Mamma 3, here.
God.
How could I resist you? What would the story for a third one be?
I'm singing again.
Waterloo!
What?
Okay, spur of the moment reference, I guess.
He said Waterloo Dragon.
Waterloo. All right.
It's a song from the thing. All right. Number 17. Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom.
Oh, come on!
Oh, God.
Come on!
I mean, I don't know how much your opinion may have shifted, Tiki, but I know review-wise, I sort of leaned towards how you were feeling at first. Again, I don't know if you've shifted. And yeah, this one... I mean, yeah, this one had some stupidness in it, and it has sad things happening to dinosaurs, which is sad, but again, had its moments. I liked the twist about the kid character. I do feel that's a logical yes and to this franchise. And I remember thinking, like, this is a better utilization of a cliffhanger than Infinity War.
Oh, you mother!
It still feels like a satisfying conclusion that to its own movie.
All right, let me put this into perspective for you, big man. Okay, let me put this in perspective. Okay, Infinity War made you feel sad, therefore you put it at the very bottom of your list. Is that correct?
All right, guys.
Maybe a little more than just sad, but yeah, negative emotions.
That means it was good.
Hey.
I mean, there's the question of, like, I know there's that question of, is it better to be remembered than forgotten, even if you're remembered poorly? But still, I remember it poorly.
Dragon, I'll remind you that I wasn't necessarily thrilled about the ending of Infinity War either, for different reasons. I thought it was a little bit cheap because I thought that too many characters got killed off, and the fact that certain characters like Spider-Man and Black Panther got killed off, and Doctor Strange.
Let's kill off Black Panther right after his movie was an inspirational success. But yeah, Jurassic World. So,
Draken, I just want to I feel like I don't have to say this, but like it's like this is like all like of course subjective opinion. So it's not something that we have to take too seriously or anything. It's all for fun.
Yeah, this is part of why I wanted to do this list, was because this is gonna be some interesting choices. But yeah, for me, for my tastes or my likings, this was a more satisfying cliffhanger for me than Infinity War was, for my experience. This is one of the... I mean, hey, it's stuff like this why I apologized at the beginning. Let's just move on to number 16. This is, on another note of interesting choices.
Oh, God. Oh no. Oh. You've got to tell me it's a so bad it's good situation, Monkey. You got to tell me it's a so bad it's good situation here, man.
I don't know about that. I mean, I can be kind of Luke Ski-ish at times where it's like I can sometimes be like, I still got something out of it, finding positivity in things. I mean, I remember liking Romeo and Juliet, so like I still remember when this movie was announced. So for me, it is still kind of like even ironically, a long-awaited sequel. Mainly just in a sort of grand scheme of things, and it is very possible I'm putting this higher than it deserves, but just how I felt satisfied considering the circumstances, satisfied leaving the theater. And I can be a sucker for a bit of mystery sometimes. I mean, even like there was a twist I guessed pretty much right off, but it still had a couple of moments I didn't expect. Moriarty is certainly kind of what the hell am I watching, I won't deny.
You mean Moriarty?
However you say his name, yeah. I mean, I remember the reason for him being evil was kind of funny, but
oh boy.
You know what?
All right.
My tastes, I guess. Okay.
All films subjective, folks. All films subjective.
Yeah. I'm not saying it's necessarily a good movie. It's just, like I said, it was mainly just whatever satisfaction I had leaving the theater, like considering the circumstances. And for number 15 is The Grinch. So
yeah, this one I can get behind.
Yeah, it is possible this movie was a little overhyped for me. But whatever. So this movie was okay. Like it definitely has had some visual creativeness, like the design of Whoville, and then like the stealing Christmas sequence. Yes. I mean, he had a couple.
The Whoville design is something I want to see in a Universal park. I really do.
Yeah. Or hell, like right at the beginning when you got those snowball skiing birds, that was like, yes, brilliant. See, Cumberbatch, he had a couple moments, but I think that I'm not sure he was the best choice. Like, I know this isn't how circumstances panned out, but oh, it would have been lovely if Stefan Karl was able to voice the Grinch in this movie. Let's see. And then I know this is sort of hypocritical of me, come to think of it, like after what I've said about the memorable for any reason versus non-memorable argument, but I mean, I'm not gonna compare it too much to the Jim Carrey version at this point. I mean, and side note, it was certainly a more clever reason for the Grinch to be the way they was if you're gonna give him a backstory, and probably one of the stronger connections between Grinch and Cindy Lou Who for the adaptations that do that. But I will say this movie is there. The Carrey version is there. So, like, but whatever. It's an okay Grinch movie. Number 14. Number 14, Black Klansman.
Ah, nice.
Yeah, I figure like, I want to like this one more, and it's it's definitely a story to tell, and yeah, that ending leaves you shook. I guess I could have been a bit more into the characters, like, and I don't know, like this could have also been different expectations than what actually happened. Like, I wasn't sort of expecting it to be black guy only does it over the phone, and then you have a white guy substitute in person, which I know is a logical thing, but I know it's I'm trying to be careful with how I word things, but yeah, I feel like I could have been into this one a bit more. But yeah, certainly yeah, I'd still call it an important movie. And again, like that ending, which I'll just leave it at what I've already said. Number 13. So 13 and 12, and it's like each had an argument for going over the others. So I feel like number 13 is the objective choice, and then number 12 is more of the subjective choice.
Okay.
So keep that in mind. Mary Poppins returns.
Mary Poppins.
So I won't. So
better have a good top 10, monkey.
So hey, it's close. Like this could very well be the first 2018 movie I see a third time. Like mainly for the musical numbers, probably, but still, you know. And you know, like when this was first announced, I was like Janet in the Rocky Horror Picture Show, going, "Stop!" But I mean, I kind of warmed up to the idea over time, and you know, I came out like it just passed mixed to positive into positive, but hey, it still made it into positive. Like, and there could still be some stigma attached with it being a Mary Poppins sequel. Like on the second go, I'm watching the opening scene or whatever, and it's like, yes, this is good, but it's still there's still some feeling of, okay, Mary Poppins sequel, prove your worth, prove yourself. But yeah, I mean, this is a worthy sequel, a nice follow up. I mean, I won't lie, I wasn't crazy about Ben Whishaw or some of the CG in it, but it still worked pretty well. As someone who's played Admiral Boom on stage, I was very pleased with how he was handled in this movie. And like this one particular moment with him towards the end just makes me so happy. And speaking of which, yeah, nowhere to go but up. Delightful. That is what a delightful ending number. So yeah, Mary Poppins Returns. It worked. Oh, and of course, you know, and yeah, Emily Blunt was a good Mary Poppins. She, you know, it's not exactly Julie Andrews, but it still feels like the same character. Which, yeah, they made it work. They made this movie work well enough.
I won't forget Mary Poppins. I promise.
Okay.
Number 12.
Yeah. Number 12, so Bumblebee.
Well,
like I said, Mary Poppins is...
Actually, I think I ranked Bumblebee number 12 as well. Yeah. Interesting.
Like I said, Mary Poppins Returns is probably an objectively better movie, but, you know, just with overall satisfaction, again, I feel Bumblebee may have hit it a touch higher. And again, it doesn't have the Mary Poppins sequel stigma to go with it, which, whatever. So, what especially made this movie... or the two leads. And one of them, of course, is a CGI robot. I mean, the main reason I saw this was because Travis Knight was directing it. And yeah, one of the main characters is animated. Maybe that's why he directed it. But yeah, I mean, even if you don't believe the robot's there, you still believe him as a character, and you believe his chemistry with Haley Steinfeld, and of course, Haley Steinfeld is excellent in this movie. Like, you know, like I say, you really believe her connection to this robot, to the CGI robot. And I remember like that scene where they're in the garage and she's talking about her dad. That was a especially good scene. And also just to, you know, kind of claim victory in an argument from a few years ago. I'm not sure you guys even remember. This movie proves that a transformer can grow an arm while it's a car with people in it. Take that.
I vaguely remember that.
Okay, so yeah. And it also holds back from romance. That was nice. A nice little break from the norm. But yeah, Bumblebee, it did nicely. Nice job, Haley Steinfeld. Okay, so Number 11, Game Night.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's not one that I think back on like, oh yeah, Game Night's so good. But I look back on it, it's like, yeah, I remember it nicely, like enough to put it this high. Like, I won't deny that it's a bit joke explainy, but otherwise it still worked nicely. It was a nice one. I had an opportunity to rewatch it because my mother got it on demand, and I never got around to rewatching it. But yeah, it was.
Did your mom like it?
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. But yeah, so and I liked it too. So holy hell, I guess we're hitting the top 10 now.
Top 10. Top 10,
Wow.
Mary Poppins.
In the top 10 step in time, in the top 10 step in time, na, 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 something 10 step in time, bop, 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 bop. Won't you be my neighbor? Bum.
Will you be my neighbor? Number 10. Okay.
Yeah. No, it's kind of funny. It actually took me quite a while to get to this movie. Like, I wasn't sure I was going to see it at first because I was of the mind, like, yeah, we already have videos about how, we already have a bunch of videos on Facebook about how great Mr. Rogers is. So it's like, what am I getting differently by seeing this movie? But yeah, and I eventually did see it on 9/11 of all nights. But yeah, it was a good one. It was an inspiring one. Again, this is one of those words like, I don't know how much I have to say because it's, it was a while ago, but yeah, it was a good one to see. I'm glad I saw it. It was inspiring, and I'm just going to move on before I repeat myself. Number 9.
Number 9.
So, I won't deny I could see this one.
Well, Dragon, he has it higher than I do, so give him credit.
I mean, I could see it going a bit lower as time goes on, but hey, I liked it enough in this case. So, like at this point, you get those other supers who are pretty good. What really made this movie was the subplot with Bob and the kids. Like, all that stuff is great. See, I never got around to sharing this to you guys, but I'll just share it now. So this great story I have about when I saw this for the first time. Well, okay, kind of when I saw this for the first time. A different story about when I saw this for the first time. So before the movie starts, we're waiting outside the auditorium, like in the hallways, and there are these two guys, maybe kind of early 20s or something, early mid 20s, maybe late teens even, I don't know, these two guys. And upon noticing that there was a Teen Titans Go to the Movies poster in the hallway, they were telling people not to see that movie. Like, they were announcing to us not to see that movie. I do kind of wish I'd seen Teen Titans Go to the Movies. Like, I guess the stuff I've heard about the show wasn't, didn't do much for me, but others seem to have liked it, so I wish I had gotten to it. Anyway, we go into the theater, and I'm sitting in the back, towards the back as I usually do, so like the back row in this case. And these two guys happen to be sitting next to us. So, the movie's going on, and then around the 2/3 point, when we find out who the villain is, one of the guys, bolts up, standing up, points at the screen, and shouts, "I knew it!" So, I'm dealing with a little... There we go. But, so, yeah. Just throwing it out there for Bao. I appreciate it more than I like it. It's some of it's just a little too much for me. So, but yeah, Incredibles 2. Da-da-da-da-da. Figures in tunnels that don't move. Number 8. Don't count on it. You're welcome. Ralph Breaks the Internet.
Okay.
Yeah, so yeah, this was maybe better than the first one in some ways. It's a cool way of showing the internet. I am certainly a Serviced fan. And what really makes this movie is the message. Like, the message is frigging incredible. Like, it's one everyone should hear. Like, I'm sure a lot of people need to hear it. So, I mean, I guess the transition into the third act is a little off. You know, you're kind of like, what the hell, Ralph? But,
yeah.
I mean, he's in the wrong. He's not as awful as he could be in the circumstance. And yeah, he's called out on it and he regrets it. And he's able to come back around to it. If only the credits didn't give away the post-credit scene.
Yeah.
Yeah, dang it, preview. I mean, dang it, credits. Also, just because I think this will be the last possible one where I could say this. Disney, please stop doing that thing before the movies where someone involved with it thanks you for seeing the movie.
Oh my god. Yeah. I really hate that as well.
Yeah, it's annoying. It keeps us from the movie after all the previews, and then sometimes you give away cool shots. Hell, your Coco one was all about how we made this impressive shot.
What theater did you see it? Like, what
this
brand?
It's not an AMC thing or anything. Like, no, I saw this at a Century, and then
I've seen it.
I've
seen it in just my local theater, which is home owned.
Yeah, this is just a thing they do now.
It literally comes with the print.
Huh.
Yeah. Yeah, Ralph breaks the internet. Nice one. So number 7. Searching.
Nice. Glad to see it.
It's one I look back on well. You know, it's a neat way of telling the story. It's engaging. Even if you make a correct assumption about what really happened, like what was really happening, there's so much going on you may forget about it. So then it's like, oh yeah, that. Like that was a possible thing I thought of, and but I forgot. And you know, I was kind of wondering if it wouldn't be quite as good on a second viewing. You know, because when you first see it, it's pretty intense, and then like, well, now I know what happened, so how much is that going to affect it? But I mean, I haven't seen it more than twice, but you know, on the second time, it was still neat to watch, you know, and it was kind of cool to watch it knowing what was really happening. And it's still a good story. And Tiki, I told you about this, but there was a moment at the end where it looked like a particular character was being arrested, which amused me.
Yeah.
I won't say who, but let's just say the way they're dressed reminded me of someone. And I'm not the only one. My mother thought the same thing as well.
Oh God.
But yeah, it was a good one. So, number 6. Tiki, remind me, what was your number 6? Because I think the way you described it was kind of similar to how I feel about this one.
Oh shoot, let me see. My number 6 is Black Klansman.
I remember whatever it was. There was something, you know, around this point in your list where you mentioned that it was one that you didn't expect to like so much, and then it turned out to make it pretty high for you.
Instant Family.
Instant Family, that was it, I think.
Yeah, Instant Family was number 7.
7, okay, I wasn't far off. So, out of my sort of similar one, Smallfoot.
Yeah, Monkey. I wish I would have gotten a chance to see this.
Yeah, this was a surprisingly nice one. I mean, I don't want to kind of damn it with faint praise by saying surprisingly, but yeah, I wasn't expecting to like it as much as I did, and I did. Like, I loved the world building as it starts up. I liked the story, and the message was a pretty good one, and it has some fun with the premise in the first half, like especially some of the interactions between the Eddie and the James Corden character. Like, there's some fun stuff with them. I really like the sort of conflict or arc that Danny DeVito's character goes through. It's got some nice songs in there, and it's not going to reference to something rotten. I appreciate that. Yeah. And yeah, it was a nice one. Which is, yeah, I recommend to catch it. I'm not sure I have a ton else to say, but yay, Smallfoot. Number 5, which I considered placing at number 6 for a while, but upon a second viewing, I was like, yeah, it deserves to go above Smallfoot. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Yes.
I mean, what can you say that hasn't been said? It's a brilliant one. You know, it's got some cool visuals in there, like, say, the falling upside down shot, which is neat in 3D. And that climax, like, that climax was kind of revolutionary. It's like it's like a new kind of being sucked into it, of like you feel like you're there, or something like that. I remember Tony Goldmark had a pretty good description of this movie as like it was like an injection of adrenaline in movie form.
Mm-hmm.
It's got a moment or two that, you know, legit feel like they're out of a nightmare. Like, namely the first Prowler chase. And it's got some tearjerker moments, like, you know, when, like, say, whatever, when Peter B and Aunt May meet each other, or some of the stuff with the dad character. Shout out to Brian Tyree Henry. You know, props to him. He pulls off some of those scenes. Like particularly one that comes to mind is there's a part where he mentions people drifting apart, which the feels.
Oh yeah. That to me was the most emotional moment of the movie as well. I completely agree.
Yeah, I mean, I only really know him otherwise for the Book of Mormon. Like, because he was the general in that show, so yeah, look at him now. Yay, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Excellent Spider-Man movie. Although I will say, and this applies to any Spider-Man movie made from the 2010s onward, you know, I still wish Reeve Carney showed up. Like, yeah, that he had.
Dragon, if you don't know, Reeve Carney is the guy who
Spider-Man on Broadway
in the infamous Broadway production.
So yeah, like, come on, give him a cameo in a Spider-Man movie. Like, hell, Homecoming, you could have had him performing at the dance or something. This one, you could have had, you know, again, maybe a musician, or like, you know, some alternate Spider-Man from another dimension, like, you know, one who, like, I was on Broadway. It could have gone better.
Mm-hmm.
So, oh well. It was Spider-Verse. Now, number 4, Ant-Man and the Wasp.
What?
Yeah.
Okay. Now,
I probably shared a lot of my thoughts on this. Probably what I would say is probably a lot of what I said when we did our first reactions podcast. But yeah, I was very satisfied with this sequel. It was fun. It was a good fun time for me.
This better than Spider-Verse. I just don't know, man. I
mean, I could very well switch it in time. That order could very well be switched in time, but I guess I have a soft spot for just good old fun.
All right.
Yeah, I mean,
it was
like, it didn't hit number 3 because I felt I'd be a bit less likely to return to this than my number 3.
Mm-hmm.
But
it was pretty low on my list overall.
Yeah, I noticed. You're welcome, Marvel. Or Ant-Man. You're welcome, Ant-Man. So, I guess let's get on. We're heading to the top 3.
Oh,
my number 3 is Paddington 2.
Paddington 2. Okay. Well, I'm sure that one's terrific.
Yeah,
And
like I won't deny
have
there.
you seen the Paddington movies?
Me, no.
No, okay.
Check them out. Like, I
I
won't
hear good
deny.
things. I just haven't gotten to them.
Yeah. Ironically enough, this one actually, I won't deny this one had a line I hated. Like where there's some line about how like actors are some of the most vile, low down, despicable people there are. But really? I mean, you try to make up for that line in the credits, but still, the damage is done.
Why in the credits do they have like actors are actually very, very professional?
Yeah, there's a
right?
line like you've been a disgrace to the good name of acting. I mean, but still, it's like, it's one of the good guys who says this line.
Yeah, right.
But anyway, and yes, coming out of the first time, I was like, yeah, that was a good one. I don't know if it was as solid as the first movie, but it definitely had a stronger villain than the first one. It's like the villain in the first movie feels out of place, and this one doesn't. And took a while for me to see this one again. Thank you, Regal Summer Movie Express, for the opportunity. And out of the movies I saw more than once this year, this was the first repeat viewing where it was just as good as the first time, if not better. It's Paddington Bear, maybe the most lovable character in the history of film. He's just such a lovable guy, lovable little bear. It's a story that comments on, it's one that shows how even bad people can have good in them brought out. Which, who knows if it's always applicable in a cynical world, but it's still nice to see. It's still nice to see, like how Paddington, brings out the best in people. There was a certain element, I won't get into what, because real world stuff, but it felt kind of, parallel to the real world. And of course, that final reveal before the credits roll. If you're not in tears, you'll be close to tears. So sweet.
Check it out.
Yeah. Now, of course, this factoid I'm about to mention involves Rotten Tomatoes, so take it with a grain of salt if you like, but this movie has the highest score in Rotten Tomatoes history.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It does.
Bird.
What?
I said it beat Lady Bird.
Probably. Lady Bird was from before. But yeah, I'm pretty sure
this was from last year.
Yeah, and I don't know if this was released, like, not sure when this was released in the UK, but yeah, I'm pretty sure this is the highest rated movie Rotten Tomatoes has ever had. So yeah, Paddington, and this one was a movie where it's like, I have no idea where the story could go, like to just, especially to justify another feature-length film. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it because I'd love to hang out with these characters again. And I feel the same way about if there's a third one, which I believe is in development.
Bigger thrust, for sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure where the story could go, but yeah, I'd love to hang out with these characters again, with Paddington and the Browns. So, Paddington 2, yay. And going on to my number 2, Black Panther.
All right.
Yeah.
There's something you two can agree on, all right?
Yeah, like Black Panther is objectively was the best movie of the year.
Was really good.
Unfortunately, I never got around to catching it a second time, but so I can't speak as thoroughly as I could on this one, but it's a really good one. You got a good story, good characters, a good villain. You got, the inspirational success of it. Like, I'm just gonna go out and straight say it, for an African-American led focused movie, and with the success it got, that is damn inspiring. It's awesome. And it's a good movie to have that honor.
Yeah.
Yeah. Black Panther. Good stuff. So, yeah, I guess we're here on my number one, my favorite film of 2018. Are you guys ready?
Not particularly.
Okay. My favorite film of 2018 is...
Oh, God.
Well, I got nothing.
No, it's a joke. It's got to be a joke, right?
Okay, my real number one, the one that's actually a movie.
Yeah, right. And not a terribly, terribly ill-fated Broadway musical with a horrible title.
When I say matzah, you say balls. Matzah, balls. Okay, my real number one, Isle of Dogs.
All right,
Yeah,
this is a really respectable number one for Monkey, considering his background and having a real big interest in stop motion and loving Leica.
This is really in my niche.
Yeah, for sure. I can totally respect that choice, Monkey.
Yeah, the animation, the story, the style of it. I won't deny that this movie does have arguably an avoidable white savior element to it. Like, I'm not saying the character shouldn't have been there, just handled differently. But yeah, I mean, hell, even with that subplot with the kids, it felt, considering, I'll just say, considering the point of the year when this came out, like in the wake of a certain event, it felt really relevant, which felt really important. So yeah, I was glad to see a movie do that. And of course, outside of that, it was definitely one that appeals to my sensibilities, I suppose.
All right, man, oh man.
I don't think I have anything else to say about it. So yeah, Isle of Dogs. Yay! Isle of Dogs. I love Isle of Dogs, or at least I really liked it. So it was a good time.
Okay, Dragon, let me ask you this. Just taking the whole Infinity War thing out of the equation, which is obviously a can of worms between the two of you, I think. What do you think of the list overall, taking that element out of the equation?
Well, even taking that out of the equation, there's a lot of stuff I don't agree with. I mean, look, I'll say this though, Isle of Dogs, very respectable choice. I'll give him that. Don't get me wrong, it's a great movie, no question. That Black Panther, I mean, I think it kind of picked up towards the very, very top. Again, I think a lot of the placements, even taking Infinity War out of the equation, you still got a lot of things that are off. That's just my 2 cents. So,
Subjectivity.
Yeah, mark it down. Points for subjectivity, Steven. All right. Well, Monkey, thank you so much for being on with us tonight.
Welcome. Thank you for having me as an outlet for this list.
It was been looking forward. It was certainly
something I've been looking forward to throughout. Yeah, certainly something I've been looking forward to throughout the past year.
Yeah, for sure. It was certainly an interesting exercise in terms of comparing people's subjective film tastes and everything like that. So, nice fun ride like that.
Yeah.
All right, and Monkey, you will be back soon for my trip report. You're going to be along for the kind of the backseat driver as Dragon takes me through my plans. Dragon, you have those plans locked up and ready to go. They're airtight.
Of course.
Okay, so he's got. You want to lay that out, Dragon, just a little bit?
What do you mean? You want me to go through? What do you want me to lay out specifically?
Just tease up the trip report. Tease up the way that we did it with the podcast about the 6 days and everything.
All right. Well, essentially, Tiki's got. Let me see. He's got about 6 days. We'll be going through. There's day 0, day 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That we're going to be factoring in. Travel. basically how close Tiki sticks to the plan. Yeah, how close he stuck to his plan. What he had you know, had his goal had his goal set on when he goes to certain parks out of the Big Four. You have like what the dining experiences would when how well he accounted for things when they did not go according to plan. You know, kind of improvisational. Uh, importantly, what he learned from the trip as a whole. Basically, we're going to be kind of tallying up kind of out of a point system of 5. After basically, he's going to regale us with all these elements. Basically, I'm going to lead through the story, and I have like a list out of like all the stuff that he has said that is on the record that people can go back to, and just if they don't believe me, they can go back to it and see it for themselves. What Tiki said he intended to do, and we had a visual aid to provide this all, of course. And we're just going to measure up the scrutiny and see how well Tiki counted for everything. Basically, 5 points per category, and at the end we'll count it up and see how he did.
All right, sounds like a plan.
Hey, Denny Whirl.
All right. Thanks for joining us, everyone. Have a good night and a happy new year.
When I say matzah, you say balls! Matzah!
Matzah, balls, dragon.
Balls.